terms of the coherence and narration mode, we find some interesting differences in Chinese and Greek mythology, respectively, which worth closely looking at. One of the striking features of Chinese creation mythology is that there is no systematic record of creation gods, only with each god or deity recorded in separate literature. We only encounter fragments of mythical stories in different ancient books, such as Shanghai Jin, Investiture of the Gods, which is 封神演义, 搜神记, 淮南子, etc. These gods and deities have not been able to form any familial relationship or others. They're only independent supernatural beings and have created the world on their own, such as Pangu and Nuwa. Furthermore, there has not been a complete or comparatively longer creation myth or epic for the Han people, the majority of the Chinese nation. Besides incoherence, there has been a lack of details and specification of the individual gods and the interrelationship between them. The Chinese mythology, in most cases, only gives rough depiction of the story, lack of details and portrayal of the individual deities. Thus, most ancient gods only remain blurry images. There could be many reasons behind it, but one important element might come from the pragmatic teaching of Confucius about not to talk about ghosts and gods, but to focus on the order of the country presently. And the Qin Shi Huang, first emperor of Qin's tyranny, of burning the books, with the reason that this ancient mythical folklore is of no help to his ruling, but to disturb the mind. What about the Greek mythology as far as its coherence and narration are concerned? We find something sharply contrary there. In the Greek mythology, under the leadership of Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, Ares, and Apollo, the gods of different worlds are participants of the great achievement of creation, in charge of different fields. Their orderliness of co-work has been built on the kinship and has hence contributed to the established Greek creation mythology. There has been a comparatively definite family tree to identify the heavenly gods and their celestial positions, as well as relationships among them. Grounded in a traceable kinship network, stories of interrelationship take place. Although it has been a complex genealogy, it is still considered a linear family connection and can be tracked down to who is who. Here, let's take a look at it. The Western mythology has been able to remain a comparatively systematic, coherent, concrete, and a longer collection of stories, largely because of the creation and application of words, the compilation of literary genius like Homer, as well as the fiction tradition. Without much limit to its literary delineations and artistic techniques, the Western mythology is found to largely resemble the modern fictions, with its detailed plots, picturesque depiction, and distinct individuality, and so forth. We're amazed at the artistic and narrative accomplishments of the Roman and Greek mythology in Homer and Hesiod's works. It's time to review the questions. 1. Do both Chinese and Greek mythology have clear family tree of gods? For Chinese mythology, no. For Greek mythology, yes. In Greek mythology, there is a complex but linear family tree for the gods and deities to specify the relationship between them and their positions in the heavenly realm. But for Chinese mythology, there is a lack of coherence of pieces of myths. The supernatural figures were often only noted down in separate ancient literature, many of which were destroyed or lost due to the disapproval of the rulers and the central thoughts of the time. Compared to the systematic and coherent Greek mythology, Chinese mythology is incoherent, fragmented, and often kept separately as independent mythical narrations. 2. What is the most obvious difference in their narrations? Partly because of the incoherence, Chinese mythology tends to be lack of specification and details in its depiction of characters and storylines. Greek mythology, on the other hand, is often full of magnificent details of plots and vivid portrayal of characters and their personalities, which to some degree help its passing down.